Good evening. Well, Christmas is over. We had a nice time. I might still I have some footage I'd kind of like to include in my Advent series. So I might still do another couple of videos. But I am really busy for the next week and a half or so, so I don't know when I will get to that. It might not be till the middle of January. That's okay, because as I said before, it's mostly just for me and my family anyway. So it doesn't much matter when it gets out there. It might be a little annoying to others, so. I don't know how much of the noise in the background you can hear. My kids are playing a game on the other side of the store. Some of them are playing a game, some are working on a puzzle. But they are boisterous. Anyhow, I got some lovely gifts from my kids, and I thought I might share some of that. And then I kind of wanted to talk about the new year and kind of some of my thoughts on how I personally am preparing for the new year. Lovely. I read her first book, What Kind of Woman? It was excellent. This little one I started reading Christmas Day just a tiny bit. I haven't gotten very far, but I'm really enjoying it. It's a collection of what she calls erasure poems. So it started with some negative comments that she got, negative feedback that she got online, that she went through and erased words from the comment, from the original comment, leaving behind just the words she chose to create a poem. And they're really, really, really interesting and really, wow, I don't know, I get a lot out of them. So you can see how it starts with an original comment and then what's left behind. I really like them a lot. Recommend, haven't finished it, but I've read a lot of her poems like this on Instagram. And I'm enjoying it so far. That's one. I don't know, I haven't decided if I'm going to put links to any of the things that I'm sharing today, because a lot of them would end up being Amazon links, and I just don't feel like Amazon needs me advertising for them. Like, I think they do all right on their own. And that's not necessary. On the other hand, there are some things that people might want to know where to get it. So I'm back and forth. I actually don't think this one came from Amazon. This one was from Elijah. Oh, it's not showing up very well. It's really beautiful. So beautiful. Turn the light away. I don't know that that helped. I don't know what helps here. So just a beautiful collection of poetry. Again, super lovely. Look at these end pages. Oh, so beautiful. The end papers. I like a beautiful book. I think we've covered this. So, just a lovely, beautiful book from my collection, though not showing up so well on camera. Oh well. Some of my favorite poets in here, and I've been picking it up and randomly reading a bit here and there, and I'll probably read it cover to cover at some point in time. Really beautiful. So those were two Christmas gifts that I really thought were very sweet. So going into the new year, I am not one for resolutions or anything like that. I do often try to kind of do a little bit of a reset food-wise in January, with the exception of so Ian and Mari have a birthday January 5th, and then my birthday is the 31st. So there's usually exceptions on those days for sweet treats or whatever, but usually by the end of Christmas and all of the food we've been eating, our tummies are ready for a little less inflammation. I'm trying to be really mellow about it this year, and think about like what is one thing or two things that we can just like cut out or cut back on for a few weeks just to let our bodies kind of catch up a little bit. And I really don't want it to feel oppressive or to feel they're so loud. I don't know. I don't want it to feel like we're giving up something, even though I guess we are. I want it to feel like we're just giving our bodies a rest to do better a little bit later. So that's one thing I've been playing with in my mind. I have a few projects I'm going to finish before the new year because I think just closer to a clean slate would feel good going into a new year. I have one over here. I did mention this in a previous video, but I didn't show it. It's just one of the many unfinished knitted projects that I have. It's a sweater for Serafina. It ties in a bow. It's very sweet. And it needs the underarms, Kitchenered, and ends worked in, and blocking, which isn't much at all, and it has needed that for ages. So I'm gonna try and make myself sit down and actually do it. It's really, really soft yarn. And I don't know if you can see really sweet little butterfly, which will look better once it's blocked. But in her favorite color, pink, pink, pink. It's actually a tunic, between a tunic and a dress lengthwise on her, or at least it was the last time I held it up to her. So I'd like to finish that. Maybe try and figure out that sweater for me and finishing that. Elijah's vest won't be done, but I'd like to get back into working on that heavily. He leaves for the Appalachian Trail in February, and I'd like to finish it before he leaves. He's not going to bring it with him, so it's just going to sit in a drawer from that point on, but I just feel better about it. Yeah, so other than that, I'm doing a whole lot of, I really trying to devote the next week or so to the house and reorganizing things and rearranging things and general cleaning, decluttering, all that good stuff. Yeah, so that's a big focus for the next week or so, week and a half. We have some people off from work, so I'm hoping I can get some help with some of that. I haven't printed out yet, but I will do my decluttering checklist again, put it up January 1st. I still have one which I didn't get through this year for sure. I didn't, but I don't know. I don't have it in front of me, but maybe only like 900 items. And for those of you who don't know, I talked about this in an older video, much further back. I want to say it was like March of 2000, but I mean, March of 2020, wow. but I don't know for sure. Anyhow, there's this chart you can print out. I am blanking on the name of the lovely, lovely woman who puts them out. That I will try to include in information underneath this video. And the idea is decluttering however many items it is for the year. So in the year 2021, it would be 2021 items. And they're separated by usually groups of 100 and just little boxes that you can check off. And I had a year where I completed all of that. I've been doing this for several years now. I usually don't complete it all. I have in the past, though, done the whole thing. And it's just amazing how much little stuff shows up and comes into your house regularly throughout a year, especially if you have a lot of people in your house. And that's just kind of an interesting, and I think it's motivating for me to try to keep things to a more minimal. You would laugh hysterically if you could see my house right now, because it does not feel minimal. It just feels messy. But there have been times when it was lovely and cozy, but also somewhat minimalist and easier to care for, and calm, and all the things that I want my house to be. So I will print out a new one of them. I just haven't yet, so that's looking forward for the year ahead. This was also a Christmas present. Let's see, the light, anything with the gilt is not doing so great in the lights. This was also a Christmas present. And this is, impossible to see. This is a lovely new journal. It's also a present from my children. And it has a ribbon. And really, I think all books should be hardcover and come with a ribbon, but that's just me. So beautiful, lovely thing to be starting the year with. I used to journal a lot. I don't journal all that much now. I'd kind of like to get back into it. The last journal I had, which lasted for years, I'm at the end of, which is why I did ask. For this. So it'll be nice to have it if I wish to, and I would like to get back into it. So I'm hoping that having it will be somewhat motivating. I got last year I did a meditation a day book. I don't have it down here with me right now. I should have brought it down. I still have a few days left in it because it's, one for each day of the year. So I picked out, and I thought that really felt good to me. Really enjoyed that. So I wanted to do it again. And I got that's this year's meditations. It's an Al-Anon resource, so maybe not appropriate for everyone, but I know enough from it to know that I haven't read it myself, but I have heard or seen sections of it, and I think this is going to be a really good thing for me. Miss Serafina and I have started meditating, a daily meditation practice. There's an app called Smiling Mind that you can install on your phone. Unfortunately, not on a computer. I hate using my phone. I didn't even have a phone until this year, until a few months ago, even, not even late this year. Hate it. I named it Necessary Evil. because I did need it for some things, unfortunately, because that's the way the world is going. But I barely use it, barely touch it, keep it on airplane mode, just wherever, most of the time. I have been using it more for videos and things and even pictures sometimes because the lens on my camera's having trouble. Anyhow, long rant put aside, I discovered an app called Smiling Mind. It's Australian, it is free, and it is meditations for all ages 3 and up. And they're all different categories and all different things. And Serafina and I have been doing meditations together for her. And then I'll do my own afterwards. And it's been a lovely practice that I'd like to carry into the new year. I really, really, really love the ones for the little kids. I think it's ages 3 to 6. And she's actually 7 and nearing on 8. But the ones for 3 to 6 are very creative and imaginative. And I think they just did a lovely job with it. So it would be like stretch your hand out to be a starfish and breathe in, trace the outline and breathe in as you go up and breathe out as you go down and in as you go up and out. Or hold your teddy bear to you, and as you take a deep breath in, feel your teddy bear take a deep breath in too. Your nature sounds. Anyhow, those were really lovely. So the ones under kids sleep meditations and the ones under 3 to 6 are my favorite out of all of them, like even more so than the adult ones, which they're all very good. But those are my favorites for sure, and those are her favorites as well. And so even if you are starting it out with a slightly older child, I would say start there. I mean, granted, I don't think like a 13-year-old is going to want to do that. But especially if your child's still very much in that imaginative play age range, I think that's a good one. So that's definitely a practice I want to carry into the new year. And I got her this for Christmas, which is a gratitude journal for kids and their parents. Now, of course, you could just do a regular gratitude journal, and that would be lovely. But this I thought was kind of just a special little thing. It's cute. I thought it would appeal to her, the pictures and things like that, the illustrations. But what it is every day, there's a combination of 2 pages, one for the child and one for the kid. And it's basically the same question or the same question slightly modified for them. And it's a different question for each day or each section, like list 5 things you like about your home. What is your favorite thing to do together? Describe a time when someone did something to help you. What did they do? How did that make you feel? Look around you, make a list of the most beautiful things you see, and things like that for every day. And she thinks it's swell and great, and we've started doing it Christmas Day. And so I think that's going to be another lovely little layer to bring some more mindfulness into our time together. That little one has some struggles with anxiety and depression, not helped by the times that we are living in. So we're doing the best we can to give tools and work with that. So then the last thing that I think the last thing, I don't know. One of the last things, maybe this is getting really long, should be the last thing, is my planner. So I have been doing this for several years now. I've been doing some of what's called bullet journaling with just a plain journal. So this was my first one, and I actually managed to get a couple of years worth in there with the information that I was working with. And you can decide how much or how little you want to put in. This was my first one. This was my second one. I think I got 3 years out of this one because COVID hit and we stopped going anywhere and I stopped putting stuff in it. This is my new one. All three of these are, do you say it, moleskin, I guess, journals. This one is actually a planner, the new one. I decided to try a planner, an official planner, instead of just the blank pages that I had to fill in myself. This one I liked because it's fabric covered. I wanted to try something a little different. This was a good one, and I actually like the size of this better than the size of my new one. Not sure I love my new one, and I'll tell you why in a few minutes. But everybody does this differently, has different ways of going about this. I thought I'd tell you a little bit about what I do. So there's a pocket in the back, and I have random things in here, but almost always end up with dried lavender from my garden pressed back there. And other little odds and ends back here, some of which I wish to put in at another point in time. I have a section for my actual schedule. There's a table of contents in the front, and then my my schedule. I'm wondering how much, if anything, this shows. I'm trying to find a page that maybe doesn't show anything that would be terribly that would say much about my location. There's a planner. You'll have to trust me on that one. And on my planner pages, I like to personalize them with little quotes that I find, or poems, or pictures, or anything like that. Let's see if I can show just this little bit down the bottom so you can see. But also notes to myself about like a song I'd like to learn, or something I have to do for the beginning of the next month to keep it in my mind, or something to keep in mind. Anything like that would go underneath the regular planner. The water is wide, I cannot cross over, and neither have I wings to fly. Build me a boat that can carry two, and both shall row, my love and I. The water is wide. So then also there might be little things like I might cut out something from a program, or something from all kinds of things. So then I sometimes didn't finish them this year, I sometimes do trackers for various things. I think I gave up on this one mid-year. These are multiple trackers for multiple different things. Sometimes lists for things to do in the garden, or other like goals for the year, things that I need to get done. Okay, so then I also do, and as I said, this is several years old, a book list every year of books that I've read in the year. And I love having that because well, I just love looking back at it, and sometimes I'm just, what was that book that I read? And also when I'm looking for books for my kids, it's a great little resource to the, oh, what was the name of that, of that book? Several pages long for last year. I think being home and had a lot of other stuff going on, I think I read like 65 books or something like that last year. Fewer this year because I've been really tired and I usually read at night. And so I've been falling asleep instead of reading. So book list, I love having that. Knitting, my knitting for the year, like finished projects and notes about them. Not necessarily a lot about the knitting themselves, but who it was for, the color, things like that, things I might want to remember. Sewing. Not much of that in this year's because I haven't really been sewing either, but in the past, I think this year in particular, I think this is one of the years I was working as a seamstress, and I think I sewed like over 100 items that year. And as you can see, I just glued in little bits of fabric. Because I do that. It becomes like a scrapbook as well as a planner, and I really like it that way. This is birthdays, important phone numbers. This is another year's planner parts for me. Lists like a planning page for each child's birthday, things like that, all in here. This is an old one, so it has a list for Ian's college admissions information. So really neat. I like going back and looking at those. And like I said, little words of wisdom, little bits of things. Sometimes I let, there's a little leaf glued in here, ticket stubs. Sometimes I've let the girls or asked the girls to draw me pictures at times. So these are little bits from the county fair and who won what. Let's see. Picture from by Serafina. I'm gonna cover the bottom part, but let's see if I can do this. I can do that. So there's a picture by Serafina when she was 5.5. There's a ticket stub for a concert for the High Kings, an Irish music band that we really like, that whenever they come to town, my kids and I go to see them. And so that was autographs, the ticket stub and all their autographs. I just had them sign right into the book. Another little Serafina picture. Anyhow, some clippings from newspapers. So then at the back, starting at the back and moving forward, I have moments. That's what I call moments, and just little tiny little things that I want to remember from the year. Like in 2018, the super blue blood moon, the first in 150 years, was on my birthday. I told Elijah he should paint a picture of it. Carrying Serafina in the back carrier for the first time in ages and possibly the last time ever. Game night with Sadie, Gordy, and Dandy. Remember pears with fresh grated ginger. Anyhow, little bits of things like that. Serafina-isms. I called Serafina and she replied, yes, Afina. We look so pretty together, and we love each other very, 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 very much. That was Serafina. We had over 4 feet of snow in the last 2 weeks. You can barely see out of any of the windows. I told these are all from 2018. I told Ian and Elijah that it's been a long time since I spent my time riding around in cars with teenage boys while listening to Green Day. It's a brief phase they went through. Oh, so things like that. Oh gosh, this is the year Galen's birthday, that it was 69 on February 21st. Just utterly bizarre here. And we opened his gifts on the porch. Anyhow, so things like that. And like I said, I'll tape and glue in things that, these were actually feathers from my favorite chicken ever, who sadly died. Anyhow, lots of little notes and things like that. So it makes them really lovely. This is funny. So we were talking about naming hymns in a group, like it was a trivia question or something. And Serafina said, I can name lots of hymns. Galen, Zach, Elijah, Daddy. So cute. Anyhow, I think I'm going to have to go back and actually read through all of that myself some other time, but you don't need to hear it all. Yeah. So same thing with this, which is more recent. I haven't been as good about the keeping track of moments in this. I really want to be sure to go back to that. One thing I did, I think I did a lot of writing in it though in the last few years, of the little quotes and things. What is stronger than the human heart, which shatters over and over and still lives? That's Rupi Kaur. Burn fire, burn bright, pure vision come to me, guide my path tonight with your strength and light. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. That's Viktor Frankl. So those ones are actually from a couple of years ago. See this here. That might be interesting to see. Oh, with this book, one of the things that I added was my measurements. So I always have them on hand for sewing and also for my little people drawing in, but also for just buying stuff, like if you're looking for something. 2021. Thus the world grows rich, grows wild, and you too grow rich, grow sweetly wild, as you too were born to be. Mary Oliver. Oh, there's a cute little one here, but it's next to too many things, so I don't want to hold it up. A cute picture of Mari's. The secret to a well-balanced life is a cup of tea in one hand and a book in the other. I was feeling silly that day. Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Be joyful, though you have considered all the facts. Wendell Berry. So that to know her, or anyone, one must seek out the people who completed them, even the places. And that's Virginia Woolf from Mrs. Dalloway, which is one of the books I read this year. There's some things you can't come back from if there's some things you won't go through. That's from a John Hyatt song from an album that was actually just released this year. Very fond of John Hyatt. I will commit to compassion and commit again when I forget and commit again when I don't want to and commit again over and over. And that's Lisa Oliveira. She has lovely stuff online if you ever want to look into her. Tomorrow do thy worst, for I have lived today. John Dryden. I would rather adjust my life to your absence than adjust my boundaries to accommodate your disrespect. That's Karen Civil. Prayer. May I never not be frisky. May I never not be risque. May my ashes, when you have them, friend, and give them to the ocean, leap in the froth of the waves, still loving movement, still ready, beyond all else, to dance for the world. It's more Mary Oliver. Remember that you control what you choose to believe in. Very different things can be true simultaneously, and choosing the one with the better narrative is often extremely helpful. That's by Kristen Kimball, and it's from Good Husbandry, which was another book I read this year, which was also well worth reading. It's the sequel to The Dirty Life, her memoir, about starting a CSA. If the pain was deep, you will have to let it go many times. Young Pablo, also very inspiring. Read several of his books this year. Oh, and these were readings I gave at church, for church, for actually their Blue Christmas service, which is for people who are maybe struggling with the Christmas season, for people who've maybe lost loved ones or are feeling alone or overwhelmed by the commercialism or any number of things, whatever it is that they have mixed feelings because of. So the first one, there was two little ones that I chose, and one was actually the Welsh word, hiraeth. We do not have words to describe states of the soul in this language, in English. I just not like this, I don't feel like. And as a minister afterwards told me, he was talking to an author friend about this thing that I shared, and the author said, there's a word for that in English. I can't think of it. And he thought and he couldn't come up with it. And his wife said, no, I think you're thinking, I know the word you're thinking of, and it's actually a Greek word. And then she couldn't come up with that either. So nobody's proved me wrong yet. I'm gonna stick with the English language just doesn't quite have these kinds of poetic words. So hiraeth is a homesickness or spiritual longing for a home to which you cannot return, a home which maybe never was. The nostalgia, the yearning, the grief for the lost places of your past, for ancient places to which we cannot return. It is the echo of the lost places of our soul's past and our grief for them. It is in the wind and the rocks and the waves. It is nowhere and it is everywhere. So that was, there's no direct translation really, so that was me just gathering many different people's explanations, trying to explain the word and putting it together in a way that made sense to me. So then the other one I shared was To Know the Dark by Wendell Berry. To go in the dark with a light is to know the light. To know the dark, go dark. Go without sight, and find that the dark too blooms and sings, and is traveled by dark feet and dark wings. Anyhow, so those are my books from the last, several years. I think I went back to 2018, maybe 2017 with this one, and shared some stuff. And this is my new one. I thought rather than having to write in a calendar, it would be easier to get one that had a calendar. It has a lot of things in it that I just don't feel like I need. So it has a monthly overview, and that's fine. I would like it to be more the shape of the other one like I showed you. It has some things that I feel like are just silly. Global holidays. Okay, so it has a list of the countries, and it has a list of the holiday, of the date, but not what the holiday is. I don't know what use that is. Time zones. Okay, sure, whatever. Conversions, and conversions over here. International size chart. I take exception to this. The largest size that they have offered for the women's is size 14 US. The average woman in the US is a size 16. That is so sizist. I feel very strongly about size equity, so that really bothers me. Dialing codes and my places checklist. So as a checklist of places around the world, so you could check off where you've been. I get that. So that's that, but I'm not going anywhere. COVID. I barely go anywhere, even when there's not a global pandemic. I'm certainly not going anywhere right now. But the dialing codes is just really funny. I feel like, you know what? If I'm going to need to call Zimbabwe, I'm probably going to have the full phone number and not need the dialing code. Like, just me. Maybe it's just me. So there's a place to keep your travel. One page for the extraordinary moments of the year. I hope there's more than one page. I'm hoping I have more than one page worth of extraordinary moments. So there's a Make This Space Your Own, and they have templates on there. So is it Moleskine? I guess. Moleskine. They have templates on their site. I don't really know. I haven't looked at them. So I don't know what that's like. So join the dots, colors, and use stickers to create a map of your unique mind. And it's like the continents. That's a little strange. A little bit strange. A ruler, fine, that could be useful. And then you're into the planner. So this I actually like. The planner pages I actually like. There's lots of room to put stuff in. I think that's great. And there's a blank lined page beside it, which is perfect for me with my little notes and things and my sayings and poems and all of that. So I love that. And I can put little, all kinds of little stuff in there. So I like that. But there is a pocket in the back. So my dried lavender. It comes with, this is kind of my little informal review. It comes with random weird stickery things I doubt I will use. I believe my daughter had her eyes on those. But there's a nice big pocket that I will put some things in. And then at the end, there's a few pages I don't know, maybe 10? I don't know how many there are, because that wasn't actually not many. There's only a few pages. I don't know if that'll be enough for keeping my memories on. Especially if I write a lot, which I hope to this year, because I didn't the last couple of years. And I really love looking back at them. So I hope to this year, but also there's not, because there's only those few pages at the back, there's not really places for me to keep separate lists of my books and knitting and sewing and all of that. So maybe what I will do is do that on the pages next to the planner. So if, you know, the first week of January I finish a sweater and a book, maybe I'll just write them on that page. So they won't all be together, but they'll still be in there. I don't know. I was just trying to make things easier for myself. May have made them harder, and it may just be that I am too picky, and anything that is pre-made is not going to be quite to my liking, and that I really do just have to make it myself. But I guess we'll see. I will say I like the size of the one I had before better. It's thicker as well. It's thicker and smaller, and I think it fit in my bag better. And I like the fabric cover better than this cover, the fake leather. Which actually just feels plasticky to me, and which was my original one was also a similar thing. I like the fabric better. And the other thing I liked about this is that it actually has two markers. So I could keep to a list that I'm like working on adding to, and as well as to the day or week, whatever I was on, month. But I will try it. I will be open-minded and I will try it. And I will go from there. So I guess that's it for me, especially since this has been incredibly long and probably like just disastrously boring. But that's how I'm getting ready for the new year. That's how I'm preparing myself mentally and also a little bit physically. And I'd love to hear what you're doing to get ready for the new year, if you have any traditions or anything that you like to do. I'd love to hear about it. So drop me a line or leave me a comment. And if I don't see you before the new year, best of wishes to you. Happy New Year.